Welcome everybody to the 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor. Now, this is the third time I'm driving the Bronco, so I know how the vehicle is, but I've never driven the Raptor, which, let's be honest, is the version to get because it is the wildest, baddest version of the Bronco. Let's see how this off-road beast is. So, what is the Bronco Raptor? Well, as we know, the Raptor tagline means it's the most off-road ready, the most aggressive, the most, I don't even know what to say. There's so many words I can use and I'm not sure if YouTube will allow me to say it. But yes, you get the point. This is the baddest version of the Bronco that is available on the market today. Lots of visual changes, lots of mechanical changes. On the visual front, you can see it's really wide. The fender arches really stick out because they had to do that to accommodate all the mechanical suspension hardware, the bigger tires, everything. They had to extend the fenders. Because this is a Raptor and because of those fenders is extremely wide, so it's wider than a certain norm or law that North America has, which means this has to have the marker lights on the grille and on the mirror. It's almost like into truck territory. Honestly, I've been driving this on the highways and yes, I am literally touching edges to edges on the lane, even if I just move a little bit. So yes, it is a bit wide and a bit intimidating to drive, but that's the whole part of the Raptor. It looks so imposing on the road. So as I said, you do have the triple marker. Another noticeable element on the design is the orange DRLs, which I think looks spectacular, and I honestly feel that maybe regular Broncos should have it as well because it just looks so good. But it is also a unique selling point of the Raptor. You do have bulges on the bonnet, vents, functional vents as well because the engine needs the air. You do have toe points on the hood as well, so you can strap on a boat or a tent or anything. Metal bumpers, tow hooks. You do have off-road fog lights as well, which look very cool. When you come to the side, obviously it is only available in the 4-door. It is extremely tall. It does have Fox shocks as well, which is bespoke to the Raptor, and you have these huge 37-inch BF Goodrich tires from the factory, which definitely help the stance, and it is very tall. I'm 5'8" and currently the vehicle is on a slant because I didn't want to look too short in front of the vehicle, but yes, this vehicle is properly tall. It is only available in the 4-door, and otherwise I would say that all the other credentials, especially on the inside, is just like a regular 4-door Bronco. So you do have practical 4 seats that can seat 4 people. You have a decent boot with a split tailgate as well. Notable changes on the Raptor is that this has a thicker steering wheel, lots of different options on the steering wheel. You can adjust the suspension, the exhaust, the steering feel, all that stuff from the steering, which actually I love a lot, and I feel like more brands should definitely incorporate that because it gives you the opportunity to fine-tune just the minor things to alter your driving experience. This has the optional carbon fiber pack as well, so there's a lot of carbon fiber on the steering wheel, which definitely looks cool. This does not have the code red package, which I think looks really cool. It's an optional package for extra money, but it blends in a lot of graphics, a lot of cool orange elements on the inside as well, which I definitely love, and I think that screams more Raptor. But I do understand this subdued spec as well. It's a bit of a sleeper if you know vibe, which I'm a big fan as well. You do have sliders on the side of the door as well to get in and get out. No proper side step, which is properly understandable for any 4x4. But yeah, as a whole package, the Raptor, lots of visual changes, mechanical changes. It just makes it stand out, and you know when you see one on the road that this is the baddest version of the Bronco on sale in the market today. I'm now behind the wheel of the 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor. So let's get the numbers out of the way. This has the much trusted, much famous 3-liter twin-turbo V6 EcoBoost engine that produces about 418 to 420 horsepower, which is a slight bump compared to the Ranger Raptor. Fun fact, same engine is used in the epic Ford GT as well. So you know this engine is a great starting point. This is mated to a 10-speed torque converter gearbox, just like many other Fords. Is full-time 4-wheel drive, and it is a heavy body-on-frame SUV. This does have special Fox shocks as well, which is special to the Raptor version of the Bronco, just like the Ranger. And as I said, this does have big 37-inch tires as well, which definitely help the stance and definitely change the way it drives as opposed to a regular Bronco. You do get the optional where you can take out the roof on this. Does not have the fabric option like the regular Bronco, which I wish they provided because everybody likes that convertible vibe. But this is also nice, so you can take out individual panels depending on the weather. It's been really cold, so I don't want to take it out. But yeah, let's see how this Bronco drives. Slotted into drive with a conventional gear lever, which I appreciate a lot because Ford is one of the bigger offenders using weird rotary knobs. So the fact that they stuck to a conventional one, I really liked it. So when you set off, and I am in a forest in a trail, so I've been driving this Bronco the way it's meant to be, the way a Raptor should be driven, driving it through slush, water, wadings, everything. You don't feel anything. I am in the Baja mode right now, so there are a few drive modes through the GOAT mode controller in the center. So you do have tow, trails, ice, snow, sport, normal, off-road, Baja, and rock crawl. I've been driving in Baja, so what that does is that adjusts the suspension tunability and it puts it into the softest settings, so you do have the most body roll. The exhaust goes in its loudest mode with the valves completely open 24/7, which I personally love, which you can also alter through the steering button, which also I appreciate, because my ideal setup is I've been keeping the suspension in comfort, the steering in sport, and the exhaust in Baja, because I love the noise. But yeah, put it into Baja mode and it holds the gears for much longer, doesn't like to upshift as much as opposed to a regular mode, and it's a complete beast. Like, I'm on a very bumpy road right now, but the amount of suspension travel there is, you don't feel anything. Honestly, I could go way faster than this, but I don't want to hurt the car as much. I know it won't do anything to the car, but just as a mechanical sympathy, I don't want to thrash it that much. The steering is really nice. It's much more chunkier than the regular Bronco. You have the red marker on the 12 o'clock position, and you do have paddle shifters which feel very nice as well, aluminum shifters. And overall, the driving position is just fabulous. It's top notch, just like every Bronco. So I've never found a reason to complain about it. It is definitely much heavier if you put the steering in the sport mode, which I have been using, and it does feel very nice. The only thing I would say is this is much wider than a regular Bronco, so parking it in downtown or just driving around in urban conditions, you have to be a little bit more careful with the arches that are sticking out. They are plastic, so I've heard they're not very expensive if you do want to replace it, and it is color coded in this, but otherwise you can get it in just the simple black paint. I just hit a small puddle. Nothing stops this vehicle. This is perhaps one of the most ultimate off-road vehicles that money can buy today. Honestly, I've driven a fair bit now, the trucks, SUVs. This is the better ones out there, and it feels so planted. Like, I don't want to say this and again, but I can, like, it, nothing literally stops this. You can crawl over anything, you can drive over mud, you can drive over water. The water wading capacity is insane. It's crazy. And I mean, the whole package makes you feel like a very competent off-road driver, even though you might not be one because the car is doing it, but it gives you that self-confidence that yes, you can literally conquer any obstacle. The suspension, the Fox shocks feel really nice. The travel is insane. The articulation is insane. You can take it to any obstacle and you will not get stuck. But yeah, it's actually really good fun. And I'm on a bit of a dirt thing, and you hear that exhaust. It's like a trumpet exhaust. It sounds like a Nissan GTR, if I can say that, the VR engine, but it's so nice. And I'm on a dirt road. It's almost like a rally, rally special stage, but you can have a lot of fun. Oh yep, the rear steps out a little bit and it's very gradual, it's very controllable. At no point do you feel like you're going to spin out and crash, which is what I love. I mean, they are pretty thick tires and they have grip, so it shows. But yeah, absolutely love it. Not everything is as positive, because I have to address the elephant in the room, and that is the fuel economy. In the city, I've been averaging, mixed with highway, I've been averaging about a 17.5 to 18 liters per 100. It is, I think, a 65 or 70 liter tank. On the highway, just cruising regular highway speeds, I've been getting about 13.5 to 14 liters, which is still very atrocious. But hey, this vehicle is not about saving the earth or saving your fuel. It's just about putting your foot down, ooh, and hearing the engine, hearing the exhaust, and conquering the world's toughest obstacles that you can find. This Raptor will just conquer them all. In conclusion then, the 2025 Ford Bronco Raptor. Having driven various iterations of the Bronco, I already loved it a lot. And now getting my hands on the big bad Raptor, I can say this is the version to get. Just the hardware changes, the engine, the exhaust, everything just make the experience so much more wilder, which is exactly what I want with something like this. Now, obviously, all this comes at a price. So this very car is priced at 135,000, roughly, thereabouts, which is pretty expensive if you ask me. This does have about 17,000 worth of options. So something like the two-tone roof, which I don't know if it's visible through the paint because I have been having a lot of fun, and you can't blame me because this is Raptor territory. But yeah, that is an option. The 37-inch tires, the 17-inch beadlock wheels, the carbon fiber on the inside, the black package, which means everything is blacked out. All that is an option. So adding all that adds to about 135,000. Now, if you ask me, that's a lot of money for a Bronco. That's almost into, say, Defender territory, or even something like an Ineos Grenadier, which I think is also a direct rival to this. But having lived with this with a week, I can say, I know it's an expensive toy, but it's an expensive toy that everybody would love to experience and everybody would love to own it at some point of their life. Now, I have to stop talking because I see a trail, I see a Raptor. There's only one thing left for me to do.